Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Alain. It is Book Saturday and we're going to cover a couple books today. Renegade and Riding the Snake are the two books I want to talk about today. I've recently finished both of those, drinking out of my book cup because I enjoy reading. I hope you enjoy reading too. You can learn so much, you can be entertained. Get out and read more. Read that newsletter. It's going out tomorrow. EnjoyLifeSafely.com. You can sign up for that. But let's talk about these books. First we're going to talk about Renegade, Defending Democracy and Liberty in Our Divided Country by Adam Kinzinger. And he was in the House of Representatives from 2011 to 2023. And he was present on January 6th. He was part of the committee that investigated the January 6th incident with people in the Capitol. Interesting book, interesting read. It tells about his earlier life and growing up with conservative principles. He's a Republican. Tells about his time with the Air Force and then his time, in the House of Representatives. And as a Republican, he does not support President Trump. And so he has some different views with some of what's going on with the Republican Party. So I just found it very interesting to read his account and where he came from and what he believes and what he saw firsthand and where he thinks things are going. So if you want to be educated in the political process and what's going on, I believe we need to read books from a lot of different perspectives and listen to people from a lot of different perspectives. We can't just focus on one thing and get all our information from one source. We need to look at everything, different sources, so we can make informed decisions about what we decide to do. But I did find this as an interesting book. I liked Adam. He comes across as a very likable person. I agree with him on a lot of things that he said. And so this was a good little read. It was a gift from a friend of mine who had listened to the audiobook, and he knew that I liked reading different things, and he got that for me, and I did enjoy it, and it was a very good read. The next book, it was an older novel I had on the shelf that I wanted to read and donate, I'm paring down the library. Riding the Snake by Stephen J. Cannell. Picture of him. I didn't know it until I looked in the back, but he was behind shows like the Rockford Files, which I really liked way back when, the A-Team, Hunter, the Commish. So he had a lot of television stuff as well as the novels he's written. The novel, it was okay. It didn't really connect with me. I wouldn't say, oh, this was a great read. It was okay. I like some of the Asian stuff in it because, it dealt with some of the Chinese triads and some of that. But on a whole, I maybe give it a 3-star out of 5. It was a good book, but it wasn't fantastic. I wouldn't put it up there with some of like Brad Thor, who I really like, or Lee Child, or, some of those people. So it was good. However, this had one of the most unique transitional sentences I've ever seen. It was so unique. I sent it off to a couple author friends like Barry Eisler, Mark McYoung, Phil Elmore. I had to text them this transition phase or phrase sentence because it just struck me as so unique. And for those that don't write, it's always difficult to go from one scene to another scene. You want some kind of transition. And sometimes it's difficult to get a good transition. And you can have transitional paragraphs, you can have transition sentences, but you want to get from here to here. How do you do it? And he had one of the most unique sentences I've seen. I'm going to share it with you in just a second after I say good morning to a few people. Good morning, Jay. Good morning, Vicky. Appreciate you guys being here. Congratulations, Jay. I saw on your Facebook that you have a new job. I hope that goes super well for you. Congratulations. Good morning, Dixon. Appreciate you being here. Dixon says, as a conservative, I love being entertained by Bill Maher. I like Bill too. Sometimes he does have some really good stuff. Good morning, Richard. Appreciate you being here and saying hello. Hope you're having a fantastic Saturday morning. Richard's an author. He may appreciate this transition sentence. It's very unique. It's a little bit adult, so I apologize for any minors watching, but it's not that bad. Here's the sentence. While Angie Wong was getting the hairless rat taken out of her vagina, Wheeler Cassidy was getting his sister-in-law's luggage out of the United baggage claim. To go from one to the other and then introduce a character like that, I just thought that was very unique and clever, and it stood out. You know, one of the more unique transition sentences I've seen. If you want to back up and where that came from, the previous scene was at an autopsy where a woman had been tortured, and one of the torturing methods was putting a rat inside her that was still alive during the autopsy. So it went from that to the hero Wheeler getting the luggage out and on with the rest of the adventure. But I just thought that was a unique and interesting transitional sentence. So I'd almost give the book 4 stars instead of 3 for having that actually made me stop and want to talk about it, and actually shared it with a couple author friends. So those are the books I got today. We have Renegade and we have Riding the Snake. One, a good political book if you want to learn one person's inside story of his life and years in the House of Representatives, including being there on January 6th and some of the fallout after that. And then a novel that I thought, was a decent novel. Not a super standout that I'll remember and say one of my best books ever, but it wasn't terrible where I said I'm going to stop reading it either. I enjoyed it. It was a good little entertaining read. Jay says, wow, I'm guessing about the transition sentence. So thank you everybody for joining. I'm going to hop off here, get to work on some other projects. Going to be working on the newsletter, goes out tomorrow. Go out, read a good book, share it with others so they can enjoy the books you read as well, whether they're for entertainment or education. Just get out and read some, and read that newsletter, enjoylifesafely.com. Make it a spectacular Saturday, and I will see you tomorrow.